Hey there, I'm John,
And I'm Josh.
and we are talking about the results of Week 12 of the 2024 college football season. We're going to start off with there were a number of big games this week.
There were.
But one of them was obviously the number 7 Tennessee faced the Dogs down in Georgia, number 12. And this game, 17-17 at half. So it looked like, woo, this is a game. And then basically that was it for Tennessee.
It was, yeah. I guess they played all their tricks in the first half. Defensively, Georgia came out in the second half, completely shut them down.
Yeah.
Wasn't necessarily an offensive powerhouse performance in the second half for Georgia.
It just got I would say Beck actually he had a really good game.
Great, yeah,
380 something yards or something like that.
14 points.
Yeah, that's right. They got 2 touchdowns, third, fourth quarter. Yeah, but they won 31-17, and so
SEC.
That's gonna shake things up. It definitely puts Georgia back into the mix for sure.
SEC is all over the place. So many teams have 2 conference losses right now. It's really just anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 1, Oregon was facing Wisconsin, and Wisconsin actually made this a tough game for them.
They did,
and a lot of worries there. I know for Oregon, as they were doing this, it took 10 points in the fourth quarter to just come back and be able to beat them 16-13. So there was not a high scoring game, which is really strange for Oregon.
I think this is probably one of the better things that could have happened for Oregon. Reality check: you're not unbeatable, right? A team who you should not even be in a game with.
I was going to say Boise showed that they were not.
And so did Ohio State, yeah. But I'm saying you're the number 1 team in the country. They didn't act like it against Wisconsin, right?
That's right.
Especially there's some top 10 teams who played Wisconsin throughout the season, Alabama included, who absolutely destroyed them.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Interesting.
It does make it interesting. They still number 1 until they have a reason not to be.
Agree.
But
yeah, still number 1 until a reason not to be.
Then you had Clemson. I can't remember what they were ranked, but they were facing Pitt. Bottom line with this one, Clemson won it 24-20. Pitt had the opportunity. They could have. They were coming back and they blew it.
Clemson actually had their quarterback had like a 50-yard run or something at the end of the game.
That's right.
To kind of seal the deal.
And he had a total of 8 yards before that.
Yeah, he wasn't doing spectacular, but still, Clemson still kind of at the front, I believe, of the ACC.
That's right.
Which means they still have a chance. I say front. Miami's at the front of the ACC, but Clemson's there. And all you have to do is win the conference championship to make it. This was a big win for Clemson.
Yeah,
big win.
It was. And then, with that one, SMU.
SMU.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So the ACC is still open because
Yes.
SMU is what was 14th, right? So Miami, SMU, and then Clemson.
That's right.
And we'll talk about Louisville losing in a second. So.
Yeah, we will. Okay, then you had Mizzou. They were at South Carolina. I was thinking South Carolina really could win this, but it was a really close game.
Yeah, this was a top 25 matchup, both in the 20 to 25 range here.
Yes.
This was a close game. If I remember correctly, South Carolina scored right at the very end.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, Missouri scored with 1:10 left to go ahead, which meant that South Carolina had to score with nothing left on the clock.
Letting
literally.
a team score with 1:10 left is tough, right? That's tough.
A touchdown, yeah.
And Missouri's done this a lot this season. Allowed last-second touchdowns or scores just to lose the game. Yeah. So South Carolina kind of on a hot streak here at the end of the season.
And their quarterback Sellers, he had 5 touchdown passes in that game.
It's a great game.
So it's pretty impressive. Then you had number 22, LSU. They were facing Florida.
Speaking of the SEC just itself imploding.
Florida. Come on, LSU. This is pitiful. 27-16. Florida's...
What is Florida's quarterback name? Is it DJ Lagaway or something like that? But people are now saying he's the great. Obviously, jokingly, that he's the greatest. But Florida's actually having a better season than I thought they were going to have, which is kind of funny.
It is fun.
Not a great season, but better than I thought it was going to be.
And this really makes Alabama's dominant win last week over LSU not look that impressive.
Yeah,
honestly.
A little worse for sure.
Yeah. Then you had Kansas, and they were at, this is a big one. Kansas, who was 2-6, I think, coming into this, facing number 6 BYU.
Yep.
What on earth happened here? Because Kansas went ahead early in the fourth, and that was it.
So Kansas has kind of had some close games all season long against teams.
Yeah,
always.
And they just beat Iowa State last week.
They've been like right there,
crazy
to be able to beat teams, right? And they just haven't been pulling it off. This game, they finally get it done.
Yeah.
As far as the Kansas game goes, as far as BYU goes, it's just embarrassing.
It is,
right? You're number 6 in the country. You're undefeated.
At home.
I really don't know what else to say. I mean, their offense was non-existent.
Yeah.
Their defense honestly didn't play that badly, but obviously enough to lose the game. But it's still crazy. There's only 2 undefeated teams left, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You're looking at Oregon and you're looking at Army.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
It is. It's crazy. And then as far as Kansas, so they beat 2 ranked teams in a row, and they're about to play Colorado.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Colorado's going to be like, they're going to be ready. They're not risking anything.
Oh, okay. Another upset. This is sort of a sneaky upset because it was 8-2 Arizona State facing Kansas State.
Yeah.
It was ranked number 16, and at halftime, Arizona State was up 21-0.
Yeah, they kind of pulled off the gas in the second half. Just
did
did what they needed to do to win 24-14.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Arizona State: they were projected to be last place in the Big 12 this year.
Ooh, wow!
At the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And now they're 8-2. Hey, that's a win in their books.
That's huge. Yeah.
They're actually close to the top of the Big 12 right now. So
yeah,
they're doing a great job.
Utah was at number 17. Colorado, not an upset here. Colorado, well, I mean, early on in the game it was close.
Yeah,
That's right.
It was close in the first half. Then Colorado just came out and absolutely smoked them.
Put on the gas.
Travis Hunter got an interception and a touchdown this game, so he had a couple highlight things. The interception was kind of off of a tip pass, but he still did great. And Shadir Sanders is continuing to excel. Coach Prime has them in a position if they win out, no matter what, they'll at least be in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah.
And if they win that, congratulations, you're in the playoffs.
You're in. That's right. Number 18, Washington. Okay, another upset here, I would say.
Yeah.
Number 18, Washington State was at New Mexico, and the Lobos won this thing 38-35.
I didn't even look at this game.
I know.
This is crazy.
This is crazy because New Mexico put 24 points up in the second half.
Yeah, they were
in order to win
destroyed.
They were.
Pretty sure. So
they were.
Unexplainable, unexcusable. You don't lose to New Mexico.
No. You
That's
sure don't.
Crazy.
Not this season, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Then number 19, Louisville. You had mentioned this earlier.
Yep.
They were facing a 3-7 Stanford, and they lost this one. And and this was 17 fourth quarter points by Stanford, and in a final 52-yard field goal to win this thing.
82 yards in college is great. That's a great field goal.
Yeah.
And collapse by Louisville in that fourth quarter.
Ooh.
A couple fourth quarter collapses here. I think we'll see that more and more as the season comes to an end. Teams just get tired, right?
Okay.
So.
All right, that was a lot. Now we're in group of 5. We had Boise State was at San Jose State. A little bit of a slow start, which is
14.
We
were down.
Boise
was down 14-0. And then proceeded to outscore San Jose State 42-7.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So pretty much after the first quarter, they kind of slowly started building their way back in.
And the second half basically dominated.
Yeah.
Even though San Jose State, their receiver, can't remember
Nick
his
Nash,
name.
Nash, number 1 receiver in the country as far as every single statistic goes: yards, receptions, and touchdowns, I believe. And
yeah, go ahead.
He looked great.
I was going to say he did look great. Not so much in the second half. I mean, he did some good things.
So he technically had more yards in the second half than he did the first because of the touchdown play.
Third quarter, he sort of shined.
Yeah, and then they also had another receiver who got 100+. I think for me, this leaves more questions than answers for Boise. Kind of definitely still exposing the secondary. Ashton Chinsey had a great game. The star of the show is arguably Maddox Matson, especially after his performance last week, which was pretty darn bad.
Yeah.
And then he comes into this game and is like 24, like 30 or something with almost 300 yards. He just looked like he was in control of a game where we needed him to be in control.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And last game he only threw to 1 wide receiver. Right.
Yeah.
In this game, I think it was 7 or 8 wide receivers.
Yeah,
so
it was pretty impressive.
Did what he needed to do.
I don't know if anybody watching the game, but picked up on the fun fact for Boise State this season that they've had a touchdown in every quarter this season.
Wow. I missed that.
That's a pretty wild fact.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah. Then you had number 25 Tulane. They were facing Navy, and Navy was shining at the beginning of this season. No longer. 35-0. Tulane came in and just powerhoused them.
Yeah, this kind of goes back to my point, especially specifically with Navy and Army. I guess we'll see about Army coming up next week, but their strength of schedule was almost the worst in the country.
Down at the bottom.
And so it's like, you're undefeated, but you have played nobody.
Yeah.
Tulane at least has had competitions against Oklahoma and Kansas State.
Yeah,
which are by no means powerhouses of
the
Power Four, but they're still Power Four teams that they at least competed with, right?
Yeah.
So no surprise to me that they dominated.
Yeah. San Diego State was at UNLV, a late game, and UNLV won this one pretty handily, 41-20. So
it's tough to be UNLV right now, man, because Colorado State's undefeated and they don't play them, right? So even though they're on paper and just in general seems to be the better team, they're probably not going to get a chance. A rematch in the Mountain West Championship game just because Colorado State's still rolling.
I know. As far as the Week 12 upset results, didn't go so great, did it?
Yeah. No, it did not. We kind of talked a little bit about the Utah-Colorado one already by accident.
Yeah, we did.
That was just a bad pick, I guess. And then, honestly, Boston College SMU is pretty close.
Yeah.
I think SMU was by far the better team. I was just hoping that maybe Boston College would come out and do something. Nah. Both of those wash picks. Yeah.
All right, so that's what we had for Week 12. Join us when we talk about Week 13.
Go Broncos.